Very good morning, very good afternoon, and welcome to Your Stocks, and we welcome you with Dabur's numbers. Well, looks like it's an inline set of numbers. 1656 in terms of the net sales, which should be a growth of close to about 12-13% thereabout. Net profits as well in line with street expectations at 186 crore. That's a growth of close to about 25%. So the two numbers that we have, total income as well as the profitability has been in line with street expectations. But perhaps what could disappoint the street is the margin figure. So I believe the EBITDA margins have come in at 14. Okay, we'll try and calculate what the margin picture is, but as of now, the only two figures, total income has come in line with street expectations with a growth of about 13%. Profits have grown by 25% in line with expectations. Margins look a tad bit disappointing, so they've come in at that 14.5 mark, which means it's fallen by 20 basis points on a year-on-year basis, and also missed our expectations by a good 80 basis points. So perhaps what the stock is reacting to is the miss in terms of margins. So consolidated EBITDA 241, a good 10 crore lower compared to our expectations. So that is perhaps the reason why Dabur is down close to about 1.5%, because the margins have come in lower than expectations. Still awaiting the volume growth figures. Remember, last quarter volume growth at 12% was the highest that we've seen in the last 11 straight quarters. So let's see the kind of volume momentum that they can sustain, because we have seen some slowdown in consumption. Stock is reacting more and more, Samira, now down more over 2%.
Yeah, but we haven't managed to get their P&L or their press release. So far, these are the only numbers that are there for you, and the big miss, of course, has come in the margins. There was the expectation was that there would be an expansion in margins, and which is what had been factored in by the street. So thereby, a miss on the margins is something that's going to hurt the stock, and already the stock down nearly 1.7%. But let's wait by no more details available.
No, nothing as of now, but one of the things that Pragya was also telling us, that because of heightened competition, there is a possibility that ad spends could have gone up. So we'll try and find out that monitorable as well. The key to look out for will be the volume growth last quarter was very strong, and margins last quarter was also a low base. So the expectation was that the gross margins would actually go up, but perhaps this time around we'll have to see what happens, and the expectation was also that the ad spends would be actually lower on a year-on-year basis. So let's see what comes out of that as well. So as of now, still no more numbers on what could have led to that little bit of a margin miss. These are how the individual businesses have performed. Food business has gone up by over 10%, so it's come in at 38 versus 33 crore thereabout. Consumer care business as well, pretty strong growth over there. 277 versus I missed the earlier figure, but on the revenue front there doesn't seem to be any kind of a problem. So ad sales as a percentage of sales has come down on a year-on-year basis, 15.3 versus 15.6, but this is on the higher side because the guidance given by the management was 12 to 13% for FY. What I can say is that lower advertising expenses given the guidance of 12 to 13% for FY14. So we'll see whether ad spends is the reason why the margins have missed street expectations. As of now, the stock is still settling in. It's recovered a tad bit from the lows, but still under pressure. Tax expenses have also gone up.
That's right. So we'll wait. In fact, we'll be speaking to the management also very shortly on these numbers. But so far, the stock is recovering actually from the low point. But let's see, it's still down about 0.5%. We'll be speaking to the management, so we'll get more clarity on what the picture actually looks like operationally. But let's get started on this show. Today, you're going to get to hear